Welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner Classics. This is episode number 1978 and Doubleshot number 1872. I have two DC trades. The first is the start of a brand new trade series featuring a very familiar character. The other is another trade for another series I review mini trades for collecting in series. Okay, first up it is Deathstroke Incorporated, Volume 1, King of the Super-Villians. Collects the first 7 issues of this ongoing series, and also the first 7 of 9 issues done by Joshua Williamson, the series' original writer. With issue 10, we get brand new writer after Vince's Shadow War. Now, basically, Deathstroke Incorporated is the first kind of basically series for Deathstroke, like ongoing wise, since the cancellation of the Christopher Priest run after 50 issues. 50. I think it was concluded in 2018. I think it was. Deathstroke has been sporadically appearing since then. I think this was the first series he's had in 3 years. Issue starts off basically similar to a Birds of Prey comic by Chuck Dixon, where you have Black Canary go undercover with this organization known as Trust. And basically where she ends up saving the leader of Trust, and she gets recruited into Trust. And her partner in Trust is none other than Deathstroke himself. Oh, and by the way, for some strange reason, Black Canary has got this bird mark on her attire. Do not know that. By the way, this book not only contains the first 7 issues, it also contains Batman River Legends number 6. Now, basically, Trust operates in a way where we have to capture a bunch of villains. Okay, so capture the villains and just bring them justice. Okay, so who's the first villain they go after? Like, right after the formation of this group? By the way, the reason the Batman Incorporated number 6 is in here, because it features a short story that serves as a backdoor pilot to the series. And also there's tease of Shadow War, which is the event that happens right afterwards. So, basically after, the whole thing with Trust, then we have pretty much in the way the debut of the second Toyman, which I believe I think it was his first appearance since, I believe it was, I'm trying to remember, I think the last time he appeared that I can think of was probably in the second story arc of Batman Superman Volume 1. I believe so. Let me take a look here about that. Because it is something to see this guy again. Yeah, in case you're curious, that was the first time that the second time I first showed up in comics I can think of was probably during the first story arc of Superman Batman, where he had obsession with Power Girl, where he really looked at her breast. Yes, basically. Okay, so yeah, it was basically Batman Superman number 5. Greg Pak brought this guy in. Yeah, seriously, that's when he was brought in. Well, he was there for issues 5 through 7, 9, 16, 17. I think this was his first appearance since a story arc from Greg Pak's time on Action Comics. That was the first time he appeared since then. And he's only in just in this story arc. You're thinking, really? Yes, really. Don't know why. Yeah, it's like basically like after those issues wrapped up, he also appeared in Dark Knight's Metal number 1, appeared in the opening issue of this series, DC Cybernetic Summer, and he also appeared in Dark Knight Metal, like I just said. He also recently appeared in Dark Crisis number 3, and an issue of Superman. Yes. Basically, or released at the same time. So, yeah, pretty much a return of him, along with basically, like it is something that we see his return. Like, apparently Josh Whedon must have dug him up. And then we have this funny-looking Batmobile basically drove up here. I believe this is driven by freaking Deathstroke. Yep. Where he takes out, basically, like this. So apparently going after the Hive Queen. Yeah, that's the first one. Because they go to a why picket fence? Your favorite little Miss Slade. And flashback to his home. And then run into the Queen, basically the Hive Queen, which they defeat her and hand her over to the authorities. And apparently the leader of Trust really wants to go after the other villains. So then we have coming soon, Deathstroke Incorporated, where they tease stuff that does happen in these issues. The third thing is basically to have Shadow War. It's basically what it's there for. So the second issue, they tease going to space, and they go to space, and they have I think it's maybe Toyman getting his hands on the bat armor that basically show up in Batman and Robin. So why are they here in space? To get the cyborg Superman. No, seriously, that's the reason why they're here. I believe this was the first time Cyber Superman has been featured since Dan Jurgens' Action Comics. Yep. And they fight him. He's captured. Yep. And then, of course, basically, the next target is the Cheetah. Yep. The Cheetah. And by the way, they reveal this at the end of issue 1. Yes. So, in issue 2, they go after the Queen of Fables, which I believe she's from JLA, if I'm not mistaken. So, the whole thing was quite interesting. So, and they also kind of revealed that apparently Black Canary's mom was part of this organization. And then of course, they realized that the painting issue shown was a recent thing. So basically, that information was a lie. So, and apparently, then we have her putting on the Libra costume, this other woman here, who's not the director of the organization, it's some purple hair woman, who turns out to be Libra's twin sister. Juliet Ballant. Yeah, she is pretty much in the way, like, I don't think she's the leader of the organization. Basically, she's someone who works for the organization. Yeah, apparently she's Libra's twin sister. Interesting to say the least. Yep. So, then of course, cover's blown, and of course, basically, they briefly fight. Yep. And they mention the whole thing about the JSA fighting him too, and of course, they try to take him down, and then all of a sudden, the Legion do show up when they expanded their roster, which includes not only Lex, Vandal Savage, Gorilla Grodd, Black Hand, yes, Black Hand, and Amazo. Yes, seriously. I thought I was like, Legion? How? They must have heard Trust doing. Yep, a Black Hand getting involved with this. Yes, the freaking Black Hand. And apparently Captain Cold's here as well. Yes, Captain Cold. And they fight them off. And then Prometheus shows up. Yes, freaking Prometheus. And also Dr. Destiny is here. Yes, seriously. First it's, okay, Libra, Dr. Destiny. Like, okay, Prometheus. And then they go to this weird-shaped house, which is interesting. And then we see, for some strange reasons, we have Black Canary put on her new 52 attire, mostly. And apparently it's supposed to be her mom's, which is interesting to say the least. And we see a version of Grant. And then, oh yeah, the World Council of Trust is none other than the Secret Society of Super-Villians. Yes, a group that last showed up in Jeff Johns' Justice League. And this lineup consists of Count Vertigo, the now alive Monocle, despite getting killed by Ultraman in February #1, Phobia from the Brotherhood of Evil, Dr. Moon, Dr. Destiny, the Calculator, yes, the Calculator, basically an Oracle and Birds of Prey villain, Prometheus, the Tattoo Man, Shrapnel, yes, Shrapnel, a Doom Patrol villain, Deadline, and Body Doubles. And, yeah, apparently Deathstroke was part of this group, but he quit because of a bunch of losers. And then we hear more of the leaders, basically the big prime members: Lex, Joker, Sinestro, Cheetah, Black Manta, and of course Gorilla Grodd. And of course, basically, Kako is kicked out, and then basically Deathstroke proclaims himself basically kind of like the new king. There was a joke in here like, "Where are my guns?" So he started using a sword. Which is interesting, though, because Deathstroke is known for having two swords. Yep, so the part between Black Canary and Deathstroke has ended. And then, of course, basically, Monica walks up and says, "Who do you think you are? We will not." And then, of course, Deathstroke kills him. And I'm like, okay, Josh Williams, you brought back the Monocle, a character who was killed off every number one, and you brought back here with an explanation of how the heck he survived being fried by Ultraman's beams. Yes, seriously. So, Black Canary gets away, and then, of course, the Justice League, well, I should point out, though, this is the Bendis lineup of Justice League because Nomi is here, along with Hippolyta and Black Adam. And Green Arrow's leader Justice League. Where's Batman all this? Don't know. We also have Tech the Chimp here, and of course they break in. Of course, she basically has Wonder Woman. Actually, this is basically Wonder Woman. Nomi, Black Adam, Hawkgirl, and Flash. So yeah, basically the whole thing with them is like, okay, so yeah. So they bring out the League of Villains, and of course Deathstroke is proclaimed new leader. And then we have issue 6 end with appearance by Ravager and Respawn from the pages of Josh Williams' run for Robin. So in this issue, Respawn meets his father. Yes. So, yeah, of course, basically Respawn is under who. Now, Deathstroke is shocked the fact he's got his face. Yeah, apparently it's explained in here that Respawn came to being because of Ra's al Ghul, who took Talia's DNA and Slade's DNA and created him. You could say this is a minor nod to Christopher Priest's run for Deathstroke, where he had the Batman versus Deathstroke storyline, where the whole thing about possibly Damian being Slade's son, and I guess Williamson must have remembered that particular storyline and kind of basically took that concept of Deathstroke having a kid with Talia and created Respawn, but basically it's not done through sex per se. It's due to scientific cloning. It's weird. So they explain what I just said, and then of course Robin shows up. Yeah, apparently Damian is Respawn's half brother. And apparently, he's also related to basically Deathstroke's own kids. So Deathstroke is basically sticking around. Respawn basically stays there too. And she'll back. And then next we Shadow War. Then we have this. They have this like 2-page epilogue where it's in Metropolis, and it says basically to be continued in Dark Crisis, where basically you have Lex talking to Sinestro, Gorilla Grodd, Cheetah, and Black Manta. Apparently Joker's on vacation. Probably due to events of the Joker series. So, yeah, to be continued in Dark Crisis. Yeah, one excellent way to start this series. The very next story that comes right after Shadow War is a origin story for Deathstroke. I'm like, really? We already had one. It's called basically Titans 23.2. And it was done by his creator, Marv Wolfman. They also did one for Trigon and the Soul, which also, I believe, was done by Marv Wolfman. Not really sure why we have to tell his backstory again, but it's new writer. Yeah, for some reason, with issue 9, after issue 9, Josh Williamson leaves the book, and he's replaced with Ed Bronson. Yes, Ed Bronson. But thinking, what books did he write? Well, he wrote a few issues of Batman. It's Robin Eternal. He did a few one-shots. He actually is the writer of the new Batman Incorporated book that I think was just released. This one, I must have missed it. Maybe I have read it, I don't remember. But yeah, he basically, I think he just started at DC just probably regular basis just this year, but the first comic he did was Batman Eternal, which came out, issue 11, which came out 6 years ago. 6. But this is excellent. I love it. I give this book I'm going to give the book a 10 out of 10. It's that good. Yeah, check it out if you have Deathstroke and a lot of DC villains. They're written with so much respect by Josh Williamson. Alright, next up it is Superman Action Comics Volume 2, The Arena. This is part of the War World saga, where this story arc of this portion of this saga takes inspiration from Planet Hulk by having Superman, which by the way they have the Authority pop up in here. Authority from Superman the Authority, yeah, his version of the Authority, where they show up to try to help Superman, and some of the basic, and Superman's held captive by Mongo in his arena. And also it's revealed that Superman is dying from radiation poisoning, and he also ages up, where he's got gray hair now. By the way, this book contains issues 1036, 1042, 7 issues in here, just like that's incorporated. They also, and that's really good what it is. And we also have a backup story, basically like what's going on Earth. We have the Guardian, then we have a backup feature from Martian Manhunter, where apparently the writer decided to revisit his old run from the Comics back in the 50s by having fight 2 particular villains from his Rogues Gallery. First, the Human Flame, which he easily defeats, and then Vulture, a criminal organization he fought over the course of several issues in the original run. This is really good. Phil Kevin Johnson, who writes the main story, is just awesome at this. And with the Rebirth stuff happening next year for Superman, DC's keeping him. In my opinion, good idea. Because this is good. 9.5 out of 10. It's, like I said, really good. The other writers in here are, who does Tales of Metropolis? That's Sean Lewis. Marshman Facing the Crowd, that's basically original to the Comics one. That's done by Sean Aldridge. The artist for the Arena issue, stories for Superman, done by Federico Federi, Miguel Madonicia, Daniel Samper, Daniel Ingersoll, Will Conrad. Tales of Metropolis is done by Sam Basari, and Martian Manhunter is done by Adria Mello. The cover art for this book is done, for the issues done by Daniel Sempar and Andrea Sanchez. Book is good, 9.5 out of 10. Okay, so that's the episode review. I might just have to save the next 2 comic cards for tomorrow because it's almost on the clock right now. But I also gotta do 4 anime tomorrow because I just found out today that apparently the first episode for the dub for Wakadeva Emercon is coming out tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to watching that. Okay, next video. Bye.